Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to the round 15 review. Stuck in the car park. It's quite a decent turnout tonight by the Pies supporters and a bit of the Saints contingent. And yeah, apologies by the camera angle as well. I don't mean to look down on you. It's on the steering wheel. It's easier than just holding it. So yeah, 34 points to the Pies. We went down, but certainly took it up to them, and I will criticize the team when I really do feel like they deserve criticism. And tonight we are playing the top team that have a lot of class, probably the best structured team in the competition, you know, with the ball and without the ball, which makes them really hard to score against. We kicked 74 points, got within 10 points in the last quarter. Anytime the margin never really got without, I think they got 21 out early in the second, and then we bridged it back, and it never really got out until late in the fourth. And that's when Collingwood do a lot of their best work, is when the teams kind of, have exerted enough energy, they kind of then go for the knockout punch. And they took it, capped off by Tim Membry, scripted. You knew that was going to happen. But night and day effort from Thursday, against the Dogs to tonight. We were in it, and I just liked that it was almost like the energy of the Collingwood crowd kind of crept into us in a way that, any decision that went against Nick Dacos or any free kick we won and they booed, we kind of thrived off that because we knew we were doing something right. It was a weird, noise of affirmation, but it's not for you specifically, if that makes sense. And forward to centre, early the Pies capitalised on everything. We didn't really give them a sniff in the ground ball. They kind of took some contested marks and took their chances. But down the other end, we were making ugly ball look good, and that's when you kind of know the Saints are a little bit switched on, is when, Owens is kicking goals on the goal line, Butler's snapping them on his left, Mason Wood's getting a few snaps and marks. Max Hall did some nice things. Yeah, Tyru's debut gave away a 50, but I just love the attitude of him. He flew for a lot, but he knew when to punch it a few times and went for a really big spoil and got them. And then he did take one really nice clean mark where he just got it at its highest point. So more game time for him. He's going to get better and better. And to see him forward late in the game, I kind of liked as well. Didn't get to impact, but I like that we can swing him there. And Keeler took a great specky on, I think, halftime, and kicked a point after the siren. Travali did some nice things. Naz, a couple of blues, but for the majority of the game, he was brilliant. Wilkie, Hammer, pretty solid down back, They don't have the tallest forward line, but with the supply and how clever they are with it, it makes it difficult because they're always moving. And midfield, Steele, very quiet, probably one of the disappointing players on the ground. But McRae was better. Sink's quiet until late and lifted. But instead of going through all the individuals, I just want to say I can cop that. I can fucking cop that. There's losses that we've seen last week. You can't cop that because they didn't play for the jumper. They didn't try. And I could tell they really tried tonight. And we, get the news of Filippo laid out in the warm-up. Devastating. I haven't heard of what it is or what's going on there, but hopefully it's not a long-term thing. But, some of the kicks going inside 50, although Sharman and Owens and Wood kind of got hold of a couple, you just wish there was a Max King down there. You just wish there was another tall bloke down there, And Marshall got his goal, but I thought he was probably beaten by Cameron. But in terms of the contest and the ground ball, I really liked how quickly we got it out. Our quick hands was kind of a bit slicker this week than other weeks, where we really hit targets, and when the ball was in close and no one could pick it up, we would just get it out and go. And, that was through just sheer effort and intensity. And although we only laid 46 tackles, I still felt like we pressured Collingwood enough. At least we corralled them. And look at that passage where Nick Dacos gets 3 possessions in about 5 minutes, 3 turnovers. Sort of the pressure that Windy put him under, that the team was putting Collingwood under. We forced them to make some uncharacteristic blues, and that was great. We didn't really capitalise on some of those mistakes that we forced them, which was disappointing. But it's just one of those games where, their class kind of rose to the top in the end. As they say with some of these top teams, they're going to have that X factor at the end, and the crowd definitely chanting Collingwood kind of got them up and about in the last 10-15 minutes where they really did lift. And it is an advantage, in this type of game when it's close, the crowd can really push Collingwood over the line. But I can't really walk away and say that was piss weak, that was this, that was that. I mean, for most of the game, it was within 10 to 15 points, I think that was probably where it was. There was a chance for Mitch Owens to put us in front, I think in the third, missed it, and he's really got to fix his kicking, because in those moments, that's a final, you need blokes that can kick it, and Sharman was good, he nailed his chances. Wood missed a couple that he would love to take again. I think Rowe missed one, but then kicked one. Jack Higgins missed a snap, which he never does. So we had our moments. I feel like we just needed to get in front. I'm not going to say we're going to win if we get in front, but I think the energy maybe would have changed a little bit. But credit to Collingwood, I think they're the best team that handle pressure and the best team that handle close games, obviously. And this game, for the most part, was pretty close, probably closer than they wanted it to be. And as much as they'll say they didn't play their best, I really thought, considering the changes, we took out experience, we put in the youth. Let's see the articles this week. They criticised us against the Dogs for playing an older team and getting done. We lose by 5 goals against the best team and we play the kids. I think that's a big tick, and I think that's more to come with Boxall, Garcia, Hasty, Filippo when he gets fit. We've got a lot of youngsters that can get a run in the next 6-7 weeks, and I'm all for it and really excited to see what happens. And I think this is hopefully a step in the right direction. I think every Saints fan that came to the game tonight was a bit worried about what it would look like by the end, but I'm not accepting a loss. I never like losing, but compared to last Thursday night and compared to what a lot of the losses we've seen this season, I'm pretty proud of the way we went about it, and the brand of football we played was pretty exciting at times. We went for the leads. We didn't just bomb all the time. I thought we were quite clever, and seeing a passage where I think it was Tarood gives it to Naz, who goes long to Keeler, and then it falls out the back and Max Hall hits it up. I can't remember who was on the lead, but that was just exciting because it was all, it was all the youngsters doing it, which I thought was great. And, I wish Steele really lifted in the last, but he didn't. And Brad Hill kind of worked on that wing really hard, and a few things came off and a few things didn't. But overall, I can't critique this game too harshly. I've seen 10 times worse this season. That was probably our best loss of the season, if I could say. But that's where we want to get to. That's Collingwood. That's, you got to go the full 2 hours. I said that in my Instagram reel. They're the type of team you can play a good hour and a half, good hour 45, but they really do push to the final siren. And if you don't, they'll kick those 2 late goals in a game, and that will win them the game. That will seal the game. And we got within 10. What did they do? They won by 34. They lifted, kicked the last 3 or 4 goals of the game, like a top classy, experienced team does, and that's where we want to get to. So a lot to learn. Definitely wasn't a perfect game by any means by our end. There was still some execution problems and intensity problems, but for the most part, for 3.5 quarters, we were in it. And I'll walk away not satisfied, but, gallant, of what I saw and excited of maybe what, the next 6 or 7 weeks can develop into if we can just continue to grow as a team and grow the youngsters and establish that brand of football that at times tonight looked really exciting. So on that note, Sainers, thank you very much for watching. Podcast Monday will be interesting. I think a positive one compared to what we've seen. And obviously leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll try and put a link below as well if you want to leave a voice recording for the podcast, any questions, even just reaction to the game, send it in and we'll respond to it on the podcast on Monday night. So until then, Sainers, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and as always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.